Born in Trouble. Here we go. Now it started. The 8th episode of Born in Trouble. I'm your host, John X, bringing you the best in mid conversation. So tonight we're going up against the Democratic National Convention and Kamala Harris being crowned as the nominee for the Democratic Party. But I think that we should get more viewers than them. What do you think, Andrew Johnson?
I'd love that. But we have to get up near that the 20 million mark.
It's the enthusiasm that'll get us there. It's the enthusiasm. It's the powerful mindset. What do you think, Red? Do we have a shot?
Absolutely. Nan Sami Mache. We're gonna just mispronounce names today. How about that?
Let's do that. A good idea. Kamala?
Yeah, Nancy Masse.
Yes, there you go.
Timmy Walnuts?
What? Yeah, it's going down to the town.
It's going down. What are we gonna call JD Lance?
Right.
They call him Shady Vance.
They call him why? Because he's always wearing eyeshadow.
That and he flip flops a lot. He didn't like Trump. Now he likes him. He used to cross dress in college, and now he don't do that no more.
Oh, and, he did used to cross dress in college.
Yeah, they have some pictures of him when he was in college, dressed up. Looks like
he's a white guy, right?
Yeah, the guy okay. Trump's vice president.
Yeah, he's a white guy.
They released some pictures
cross dressing
of him.
No big
thing. Of him dressing up in women's clothes. I don't know if it was a prank or if he was just doing it because that's what he was doing. And
some Marines are tougher than others. Some are just there to entertain.
Yeah, check on ball.
Yeah,
you know how they do.
Yeah, my brother was it. My brother, you never was. It's not a was. He is a Marine. He's like 60 years old. He is a Marine, my brother. And I don't know. I had to ask him what he thinks about that one. With the guy wearing, I know what George would say, but R.I.P. to that Marine. That was a real Marine. So I don't know if I should even continue to go there, or should I just should I leave it be? Because
to warm food with love, and then we out.
Yeah, because it's like he's a loving man. His backer is married to another guy. The guy who has backed him with his billions of dollars.
Yeah, what's that? The billionaire? You talking about the billionaire?
Yeah.
What's his name? Thiel?
I can look it up.
Isn't his name?
Yeah, Peter Thiel. Yeah.
Peter Thiel. Okay. You say he's in a gay relationship?
He's married to a man.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to look him up. Actually, there was a scandal. Let me make sure, because we're going out live. This could be the end of our show right here.
I didn't know. No, I didn't. I never heard that before. But I didn't know anything about him other than that he backed the guy out in Arizona, and he backed J.D. Vance for those Senate positions.
Yeah, been that. He did more than than back him for Senate positions. He set up his first hedge fund, which failed. Then he set him up with a job with another hedge fund where he didn't go to work, apparently. Then he set him up with another hedge fund. And this time it was his hedge fund. And that's when he backed his book that he wrote, whatever that book is, Hillbilly Elegy. When the truth of the matter is, this guy went to where did he go? What Ivy League school did he go to?
He was at, I want to say he was at Yale.
Okay, so he went to one of them. let's give him Dartmouth, whatever, just one of them. We know we went to an Ivy League school. How many hillbillies do you know that fall out of the haystack and into the Ivy Leagues? It just doesn't happen. But yeah, it's like people will believe anything. Is really what it comes down to. So if you want to believe that this guy is like a super macho, super like super like like studly man and everything, if that's what you need, then go ahead. But all I see is a guy that wears eyeshadow in every friggin' picture. This dude is like wearing makeup. And now you tell me he used to cross dress? That makes sense.
Yeah, he well they even said, now I remember someone saying to the effect that at one point he wasn't, I don't think he was gay, but he was saying something along those lines, that there was something going on, but that was a long time ago apparently, when he was in those exploratory college years.
If he is, there's nothing wrong with it.
No.
But it's like pretending like he's not exploratory, like you were pretending to be exploratory, or like, it's the cosplay part of it. He's pretending to be something completely and totally different than what he is. And isn't that what we're supposed to be trying to fight against in society? People not being ashamed to be who they are, not for nothing.
Well, sure.
Isn't that what social media is for, though? Or not what it's for, but what people use it for, to show people that you're something that you're not. Isn't that like what 90% of the people use social media for?
Yeah, but it's time that we fix that. Yeah, Peter Thiel's spouse, Matt Danzian.
Wow.
So yeah, he's married to a guy. He is like, married to a guy.
So he must be one of the log cabin Republicans.
I would assume so. Yeah.
I just want to say that the 8-year-old in me is laughing at a lot of the shit that y'all are saying.
Right.
Like it's like,
because it's hard to believe, right?
Well,
it's really
something too.
To take in. Huh?
But John, you want to hear something crazy?
What?
I don't know. Ann Coulter had said to Vivek Ramaswamy, she said she likes his ideas and some of the things he says, but she could never vote for him because he's Indian. But J.D. Vance is the vice president. He's married to an Indian woman. So I'm wondering how many conservatives is that going to turn off in this election?
Well, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, with his wife being, Indian and they having essentially interracial kids, how do you attack Kamala with interracial parents when the vice president has interracial children?
Well, I think that the reason why they still trust him is because they know that, much like Tim Scott, his wife probably gets as much action as Tim Scott's new bride has gotten.
They're still going through with the marriage now that he's not going to be the vice president, or is that still?
No, they're married. They're married.
They are.
Yeah, they're married. So,
okay.
Some boys.
Do you have any? Do you have any? Do you have any odds on? How long you think they'll stay married after the election?
Oh, they'll be married for a while. They'll be married at least for a decade.
Really?
These aren't marriages. That marriage isn't for. It's not for the immediate show. It's for convenience. It's for both of them. They have a sense of. What people forget is that some of these people, like in America, they actually believe in the system, and they're actually like they're committed to it. They're committed to the whole thing, to getting ahead. They're not interested in the same things as, say, like a girl who grows up who wants her Prince Charming and she wants him to treat her good and take her out to eat lobsters every now and then, and like, you know, show her off to her girlfriends. That she's in it for the power and the prestige and the opportunity to move up the social ranks and, you know, be whatever it is that she always wanted to be, a powerful person who's one step away from a powerful person. Power is an aphrodisiac. You know, anywhere you slice it, all of these shows that we do and all of these things that people talk about, it's all about power. It's about when you talk about music, puff, power. These politics, power. So I don't think that she's going anywhere. I think she's, you know, they're gonna suck it up. They've already made their arrangements, whatever it's gonna be. If her girlfriend's going to be close to her, or if her boyfriend's going to be close to her, they'll be there and everything. And no one's really going to be paying attention to her.
It's you know, the 3 reasons why people get married: a reason, season, and a lifetime. So what you basically telling me is that this is for a reason.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I mean,
well, you have to project the image, right? There's still a certain image, as much as we try to say that all lifestyles are acceptable. There's still a certain image that people are generally accepting of, and that's typically a man and a woman. Now, whatever you do outside of that, right? You know what I mean. You still have to put the facade up,
right? And that kind of goes to like JD Vance's followers at this point. They have to accept the fact that they don't really care that she's Indian per se, because they know that he probably really doesn't even mess with her. You know, he doesn't listen to her. He's not being advised by her. He's not, they know that he's essentially disrespecting her. Anyone who's close in that circle has to know. You know, I can't say for sure, but if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, waddles like a duck, it's probably a duck. You know?
So I want to know.
Right on cue.
There you go.
Speaking on ducking.
Speaking of duck shit, here we go. Right into the pan.
Mr. Robert Brooks.
Right into the pan.
Casually late as ever.
Well, you know,
I love the guy.
Doing my part. Got to keep certain cultures alive.
This is groundbreaking entertainment here.
I'm afraid to ask. I am afraid to ask. Yeah, we were just talking about Peter Thiel and JD Vance, and you know, their mutual love affair politically, their political love affair. You know, Peter Thiel actually, he had made the headlines because one of his boyfriends actually did something really crazy. I think he ended up unaliving himself and writing a letter. You know, so he spreads it around. So he is a log cabin Republican. There was a lot of logs out there.
So you said he did what to himself?
I'm sorry, I've been listening to too much TikTok. You can't say the words like killed. You have to say unalived. So.
Okay.
So, you know, that was like something, there was a news report on that. And I actually saw that video where they said, this is how I know, like, you know, there's the one thing about the internet is that there's nowhere you can hide anything, anywhere anymore. If it happened and there's a record of it, somebody's seen it, somebody's recorded
I'll assume that the thought is that is a less triggering language than the traditional words that we would use in that situation.
I guess that's their thought process. They don't allow that. They don't allow you to use the word rape. You have to say grape.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to.
What?
Yeah, you can't say I think you can't say porn, you got to say corn or something like that.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of words that you can't say. Unalived is one of the terms that they. It's really interesting listening to TikTok. You know, it really is interesting in listening to them because they're dedicated. You know, I don't know how many people are actually convincing, but they're dedicated. And it's the same with Twitter. It's like Twitter's on one side, that's like all the far right nuts saying all their crazy shit. And on TikTok, it's all the far left people smacking everybody down. It's like walking into a barbecue or a snap fest sometimes.
So since I don't listen to either one, does that mean that I can just say whatever word I want to say?
You can say it here because we are neither okay. TikTok or like whatever. If I use a clip, I can't use a clip. I have to beep you out if you use the word murder. Would be unalive.
Got it. All these rules.
Yeah. They're sensitive to people's like feelings instead of teaching them how to deal with it. It's like as if these things are not going to occur if you change the name of them.
Right, because the thing still exists.
Right. You're still describing, everybody still knows that you're describing murder when you say I'm alive. But this way it sounds better.
So that means suicide is definitely out. Can't say suicide.
Oh no, you can't say
no. That's a very triggering word.
Yeah, you can't say that one.
Literally.
Yeah, unalive. You have to say they unalive themselves.
Wow. Okay. All right. Yeah. Learn something new every day.
Can you say they off themselves?
I don't even think you can say that.
You can't say that, huh?
I don't think you can say that. They'll hit you. You know, they have all these rules on TikTok. You can only have like a live if you have like over, I think it's like 1,500 followers and stuff. So it makes everything like a following. It makes it a competition. So people get away from the actual conversation and they try to drive the numbers. So there's somewhat of a entertainment element to it where people were trying to come up. And, you know, if you watch those spaces, like I was watching, do you remember seeing, what was it, Teslin Figaro? Do you remember seeing her on the Wisdom app before? She was on there and she was on Twitter, very like active. They actually had her on Fox News yesterday.
Wow.
So like podcasters and these people that are like, you know, doing this full time and actually pushing at it, they're making inroads into actual mainstream areas. Y'all think that's a good thing? Rob, you're the professional. I want you to answer that. Do you think it's a good thing?
Of course not. Of course, I don't think it's a good thing. But, you know, hey, get it, grab it while you can, because, you know, that influencer money is here for now. It ain't here forever. So I ain't knocking anybody's hustle, but you know, you got to be really careful who you listening to. You know, because everybody is trying to game the app. So, you know, if you're gaming the app, more than likely at some point you're going to get off course.
Well, I mean, the truth of the matter is that there was a time where Grant thought MySpace was the dopest thing on earth.
Because it was.
He wasn't far wrong.
Yeah, it was.
Like what a concept.
At the time, right. So things change. Everything changes and it gets better. So right now, or it gets worse. You know, TikTok. The way I see the algorithms working right now is I feel like the algorithms are like trying to mute me. Like I can see where the relevance of being in this age group demographic where they don't let you get in there and like really affect anything. And especially on some of these platforms that are negative platforms against like Twitter, forget about Twitter. Twitter just like, they just shut me down. They're like, you say something relevant. The other day I got a message. First time I ever seen a message. I replied to a tweet and said, you can only reply to this person and that person, and no one else will see what you're saying because you're making sense. You know.
Wow.
It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Is there any replacement at all to a Twitter? Like, you know, there's Substack, but it's not, doesn't have the broad appeal. Is there anything that can
bring back Black Planet?
Yeah, there you go.
What's Isaac Hayes Jr.? What's Isaac Hayes Jr.'s joint? What's his social media joint called?
I don't know. Why can't someone bring back a Black Planet type? Why won't a Black Planet work today?
Fan base. It's called fan base.
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah.
What is it about Black Planet that wouldn't work? Is it that like people are so divided now that a Black Planet would be too controversial? Would people get upset about even signing up for a grouping of Black people? I saw a question like that just yesterday. And it said, how come Black people don't get together and like congregate?
Because white people always infiltrate our shit and ruin it.
Mm-hmm. They're against it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, they don't want us getting together.
Yeah. Too many of us together just kind of implies that we gonna try to retaliate for something that they did.
We're up to something.
It just kind of implies that in that mind.
Nobody's safe. The kids, the white women.
Yeah.
Nothing.
You know, they're a lot more worried about the white women than the kids.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yes.
Well,
we've already won that war. Just listen to, you know, half the time when there's a car driving past my window, blaring hip hop, you know, probably more than half the time it's a white kid doing it.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, we've already taken their kids, but they got to protect the women.
And then why did they let that woman get with Tim Scott, who, if he puts on a Scully with a ball on top of it, will look exactly like buckwheat on Fat Albert? How did he get?
Tim Scott.
How did he get?
Listen, we love.
How did he get one?
We love Uncle Timmy here on Born in Trouble.
We do.
Yeah, Rob.
He's good material.
I was confused for a moment there.
You know we love Uncle Timmy. Yeah. Grant, don't laugh.
Yes, sir. Look, Shifero got to be busted up.
You remember that nice log cabin graphic that I made?
Listen, Shifero got to be busted.
Uncle Timmy's cabin. You remember that episode? I should feature that again. Do you remember that nice log cabin?
Yeah.
That was great. Tim Scott. We love him.
That was fun. That was fun.
Mm-hmm. We love him. So I hope his marriage lasts forever. Go ahead.
I'm just surprised that he went through with it. After he didn't get the VP nod.
That's exactly what I said.
It was over.
Yeah, so I said this is he don't have to play the game no more.
Exactly.
You know?
Listen, he needs a beard. Let's be honest. The guy's been out there a long time, clean shaven. He needs a beard. Period. It's been enough time. Look, JD Vance has one.
Did they do this on the Shy though? Like, are they all just like, well, I guess art imitates life, so maybe it was happening in real life, and then on the show, the dude had the gay dude had the girlfriend or whatever, as he was running for like mayor or whatever he was running for. So maybe it's been commonplace for a long time, and I just don't realize it.
Yeah, because you haven't run for office.
But don't they know that people are kind of aware of that now? Like that's they got to come up with something different, because people know now that it's a facade, or either they don't care.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, why do we think that people really care though? You know what I mean? Like in 2024, why do we really think that people care?
Well,
because sometimes they do.
Yeah.
Look, Donald Trump has done all the worst things on the planet, but some of his opponents still get slapped down for doing the same things that he's done.
Right. That's a fact.
It matters to them when it matters.
Right.
So you just just taking things off the board. Like, okay, that's one less thing they can attack me on right there.
I'll buy that. They don't like it when they don't like it. I'll buy that.
Yeah.
I'll smoke a bag of that.
Well, also,
it's a big moment right there.
There's also the whole thing, like, you know, it's like sometimes when you're sleeping with a woman and her husband comes home and you go jump in the closet, there may be somebody already in the closet there when you get there. So it's like, I'll just put it like this, like, you know, like wifey has like a saying she says about, you know, some of Caucasian men and everything. She says, if a Caucasian man goes on more than, I think it's like 2 or 3 boys trips a year, he's gay. And she just believes that. So we're talking about groups of people that
I'm inclined to agree with her.
You're inclined to agree with her?
I'm inclined to agree with her, yeah. Unless he's part of like the ultra wealthy, like the group that just has money to go wherever and do whatever they want. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He going on more, heck, I'd say if he going on more than 2 boys trips a year, he probably, you know, it's always with Timmy. You might as well assume that he and Timmy are cooking up some tea.
I just got done watching that series on Apple with the Brokeback Mountain guy. He's always going to be that to me. Jake Gyllenhaal. Fine actor. He's always going to be.
Was he in Brokeback Mountain? I never saw Brokeback Mountain.
Boy, is he?
You know,
I know. The other one was the Joker, right?
Yeah.
Heath Ledger. Yeah.
You know, but I mean, look, you know, that could be why they really don't. Who wants to really point out that JD Vance is like wearing kind of makeup and everything? And again, like, there's nothing wrong with that, but there is something for the people that are voting for virility. Donald Trump.
You know, his red meat base, dudes wearing makeup. That's not really a thing for that base.
But right? JD Vance. What did you say?
You know what?
Go ahead, fill him in. What did you say in the beginning of the show about JD Vance?
I said his nickname is, they calling him Shady Vance, because when he was in college, he was cross-dressing at one point. They have pictures of him cross-dressing when he was in college. Yeah. You know something though, John? I can honestly, you could be whatever you want in the Republican Party as long as you continue to bash black people.
Believe it.
You can be all those things as long as you're getting the job done.
Right.
And you know, keeping that myth alive. Yes, the message.
Getting it through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, they'll vote for you.
Yeah.
You know, if you keep doing that, because you have to be at least better than the average black man.
All right, so listen.
Unless an exceptional black man, no, but the average black man, you definitely have to be better than him.
We on the show all know that, and we have that understanding. We have that feeling. We know that that's the way that they think, and that's how they feel. My whole thing is that why do they pretend that they hate LGBTQ when they are LGBTQ?
That's a good question. Again, as long as you're pushing the narrative and the message.
The quickest way to unite the people is to give them an enemy.
Yeah.
Whoever that enemy may be. And that enemy may only be an enemy for a moment.
Listen, I'm going to tell, I very rarely talk about how I actually think and what I am and everything. But, You know, I can put up with a lot of people, and I think Rob is probably the best person to probably attest that. Like, you know, I put up with some really weird motherfuckers, and Rob would be like, "Why do you like this dude?" Like, you know, whatsoever. But the truth of the matter is, it's like, I don't mind. I like all people who are just basically honest and true about who they are and what they're doing and everything. So it's like, if you're a racist, be a racist motherfucker and come out and say it. You know what I'm saying? I can at least respect that shit to a certain extent. You know, if you're like, you know, if you pitch for the other side, then like, you know, just admit you pitch for the other side. You know, but don't fucking go out and like, you know, hate on the shit that you're doing, you know, like that. It's just weird to me. It's just weird to me. It's just disingenuous. And that just makes you a liar about everything. If you're a liar about everything, if you lie about that, you lie about anything. It just, to me, it just doesn't make any sense. And like y'all said, it's like everybody knows that this is what you're doing. You go on 3 boys trips a year.
Yeah, but the messaging in the society isn't that though. Like that's you and me talk. This is us talking. You know, we chopping it up and we saying it's cool. But there's a lot of offices you go in, and you know, if you hear 50 gay jokes a week, guess what? You ain't sticking your hand up. Go, guess what, boys? That's me. You talking about me?
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's real.
Human nature.
You know, so I mean, there's still way too much. There's still way too much conversation. The language is still way too coded against homosexuality. And so for a lot of people, especially people who have, you know, who are affiliated with church peoples, that is not, you know, that is not a route that they can take. They can't just step out and start being who they are, because that's gonna separate them, alienate them from their community.
So you feel like JD Vance would be putting the evangelical vote at risk more than Trump, the rapist? I'm sorry, I'm still on my TikTok thing. Has actually done, because some evangelicals did say that they're not voting for him this time around. He pissed some of them off, but JD Vance, you know, he's supposed to bring some of them back, but he's wearing makeup.
But he's a heathen because he married a brown woman.
And he married
that's what I said earlier. That's what I said earlier, Rob. He, you know, how do they go after Kamala's race, interracial parents, when the vice president's got interracial kids?
They will not even see the contradiction. They will just go.
They'll just ignore it.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what, if Trump wins, it would be quite the motherfucking scene. I'll put it that way. I think a lot of people are, I get the feeling like a lot of people are just like, I don't want to see this again. And that's really what the vote is coming down to. But I also get a lot of people saying, I'm just not going to vote because I don't want to see this again. And that could be the thing that slips, you know, this guy back in. What is life like under Donald Trump?
You know, I think it's going to be crazy if he wins or loses. Because if he loses, they're going to really be mad. And honestly, they said he had a better chance this go round than he did in 2020, but that was when Joe Biden was in the race. Now, who knows? I mean, you know, a lot could happen, but she's definitely, you know, got an advantage right now. So I don't know. I mean, you know what I've been noticing? I know y'all noticed it too. What's up with all these black dudes supporting them? Like, what are they getting out of it? They ain't getting a check, I don't think. So are they caught up in the are they in the cult too, or are they just
anarchy?
Yeah, sometimes 15 minutes is worth it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like if you can get on and get your 15 minutes as a Trump supporter, maybe that's worth it. Because there can't be too many.
I mean, I've been seeing a handful of them.
They finding them. They turning over every rock and they finding them.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Though. You got to find them now.
They got to dig because they need brown faces to try to combat that. Like they at least smart enough to understand that they need to get some brown faces out there to try to sow some dissension.
But do you really? At 12% of the population, do you really need the black people to vote for you if you're Donald Trump?
No, they just need them not to vote for her.
Right.
Like they can't have that. They can't have that solid 12% block go all her way. Like they got to get some folks to drop off the boat.
That's a good point.
Yeah, because that's like a vote. A no vote is a vote for him.
Yeah.
I mean, but these people that you see generally that are saying that they're not voting for Kamala, for the most part.
For Kamala?
Yeah.
Kamala.
You missed
Kamala.
it. You missed it, Rob. We said that we're using all wrong pronunciations today.
Oh, we're doing all wrong pronunciations today.
All things is, So it's like, we're not, it should have been JD Lance.
Okay.
Because I think that's probably better.
Yeah, Trump. DJ Lance.
Yeah, but I think that I think you're seeing a lot of people that they feel disenfranchised. They feel like their vote doesn't matter one way or the other, and they don't really understand what incremental change looks like. And honestly speaking, I've learned more stuff about what this administration has done in the past 4 years. And I'm just like, yeah, they're on the right path. They're on the right track. And they have done some things that have actually helped Black people, but have they trickled down to most people in America? No. Is it a big check that's signed by Donald J. Trump, for like $800? No, it's not. So how do you get them to understand that? Do they even want to? And then also at the same time, there's a lot of people that just want to burn the machine down. They just think it's time for it all to end.
Yeah. Well, once they recut it up, once they reshuffled the deck, now it's harder for you to make that kind of substantial change as a minority because the deck has been shuffled so that the districts are now broken up as such. You know what I mean? Like you can't that kind of power block that you might be able to form, it's going to be harder to make it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, personally, I feel like I've done the math, and I feel like there's no real benefit to Black people to see the government broken into like a million pieces right now.
Not at all.
That's what Trump represents.
Well, but it goes back to the same question though. So if it were to happen, what do you do? Because what we understand is that Black people in this country are so reliant on the country to be what it is. We don't grow food, we don't hunt, you know what I mean? Like we don't do so many things that we are just reliant on America to do these things for us. So even if it did go up in flames, we would just go up in flames with it.
Well, here's the thing. I think most people are actually that way. I think even these people
Absolutely.
that think that I think that they're preppers, after the first week, they're going to start losing their shit. No one in America really is prepared for a breaking up of the entire world as we know it, the systems that we know as we know it. We're just not built. We're just not built that way. Just calling it what it is. Automation does most of the work.
Right.
I mean, they got to actually get out there and do it. And then, no, we're not going to get out there and do it. We're going to get out there. We're going to make you do it. Oh, okay. But how are you going to show us how to do what you don't know how to fucking do yourself? It's just like the whole people haven't really thought it out. I really think that the best thing that could happen for this country is Miss Harris would win. White people would recognize that they've gone way, way, way off track and come back and bring back someone who could actually bring them back on track. And then we could really get into amending the Constitution and making the world a better place for all Americans.
You know what, John? No, I just had a conversation about this yesterday with someone, and we both came to the conclusion, and I don't see this changing, that if Donald Trump loses in 2024, if he ran in 2028, he'll get the nomination again. He has that much of a stranglehold on the base of the party.
I don't think he's going to live that long.
He might not. No, that's the X factor. He probably won't live that long. But even if
don't die,
right? But even if they sentenced him, and he was on house arrest with an ankle monitor, I still think he would get the Republican nomination in 2028.
Would that make him the first real black president? You know, because Barack was next, Kamala's next. Dude rolling up into the White House with an ankle monitor. That might be.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. He did say that since he got convicted of the 34 felonies, he's one of us now. He made that. He did make that statement.
Narrative.
Yeah,
he did make that statement. Narrative, but I've never done any time, so I don't understand what the fuck he's talking about.
Exactly.
I spent my entire life trying to avoid that shit. The fuck are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Ain't no fucking.
He's saying we all go. He's saying we all at least get probation.
Fuck you, Donald. We know.
I got a question.
We'll go through that bullshit. Shut the fuck up.
If you haven't been to jail, what black job have you had? Because you had to do one or the other. You either went to jail or you had a black job.
You had a black job.
I've had a whole bunch of black jobs.
I have too.
That first job was definitely a black job. The first two jobs were definitely black jobs.
Yeah, you know what the fuck is this motherfucker talking about? I'm just like, what the fuck is he saying? I like look at this shit, and to me, it's like, Andrew, like what you said, that shit with like such a fucking straightforward clarity and everything.
Look.
You know, John, he could end up being the nominee again in 2028. B, it's fucking ludicrous. It's ludicrous he was the nominee in 2016. It's ludicrous he was the nominee in 2020. It's ludicrous that he's the nominee in 2024. And if they continue to follow down this path and everything, it's like, all I can think about is like Darwin and everything. How are these motherfuckers? That's why they're getting bred out. They can change these abortion laws all they want. They can push all this different shit. It's like, yo, nature finds a way. And there's a reason why why the women are sterile. You know, because you're not fucking cultivating them. We are more than just like finance. You know, people require vacation, they require affection, they require time, they require attention, you know, and if you're not cultivating these things, you're gonna die out. And your only choice is really to load up a firearm and go out and take out as many other people as you can with you. Because no matter what you do, you're never going to be what you think you're going to be, because like the light isn't, you're feeding the wrong wolf. I mean, it's like, what the fuck is this guy saying? Why are these people like following him? It's like,
he convinced 2/3 of the party that the 2020 election is stolen when you poll them. So why would you think he wouldn't win in 2028? I'm certain that he has that much of a stranglehold on the base of the party that he would get nominated again, just like you said, if he's alive, just based on health purposes.
And not only that, like, who else do they have to run right now?
Exactly.
Nobody. Listen, white people need a savior.
Well, that's what you're here for, isn't it, John?
Yeah, I'm here to be the white people's savior.
A white Obama?
I'm the white. Well, you know what? Only in the way that I'm telling them that they need a savior. And if they don't listen, they're stupid. You know, you really need a fucking quality person to come in there and fucking replace all the shitty fucking characters you've been putting forward. Like, you know, we were talking the other day. I think it was I talking to you, Rob, when you were talking about John McCain.
Nah.
You know, I was talking to oh, I know what I was talking. No, it wasn't you. I was talking to someone else, but I also talked to Alexander like this week. You know, big shout out to Alexander. Alexander, he's you know, my cousin who's the Vietnam POW war vet and everything. And I was talking about John McCain, and I don't think I was talking about it to him either. But I was like, the person that really disappoints me the most, the Republican that disappoints me the most on this earth, on this planet, is Meghan McCain. Meghan McCain. She shows, like, you know, that there's really no hope for these people, because her father was, whether you loved him or you hated him, you believed in his policies or you didn't believe in his policies, that guy loved America to his fucking core. He loved it to his core.
Well, I mean, but he's from the era of politics before it became a 24-hour horse race.
Right.
But like when people still, you know, had conversations that you didn't have to worry about being blasted back to your district. Everything you say wasn't blasted back to your district. You could say something that went against, you know, quote unquote your say you all about because you need to make a deal. It's not some guy hammering you with it, you know, 24 hours later.
But dude, what an honorable guy though. It's like he basically said what he said and he meant what he said, and you know, you may not have agreed with him or whatever, but he told you his reasons.
But it's a different game now.
Yeah,
they're playing a different game now.
It's a totally different time.
But when I say, like, you know, his daughter is the biggest disappointment because she sits there and it's like it's almost as if her father had no effect on her life whatsoever. She has no spine and no backbone.
Nah, people change with the times, bro.
Yeah, and she's third generational wealth. So she's a trust fund baby.
You know what they say?
She don't care about that.
Tough times make tough people.
Right.
Tough people make soft people. Soft people make hard times.
Right.
Yeah. So she's gonna have to. So hopefully she's popping out somebody that's got her father's DNA in him and everything, because it's gonna be some hard times, and they're gonna need some strong white boys.
Yeah,
they really are.
Like it's hard though. It's hard to get people to think the way that they once did. Like once they move past the way that they thought in the 80s, it's hard to get people to think that same way again, because that thought process is it becomes, in people's minds, it becomes antiquated.
I can see that.
Yeah. So it's hard to get somebody to think like my old man, or you know what I mean? Like we our thought processes on a lot of things are antiquated at 54 and 55, right?
Yeah.
So
no, you're right, but I'm not going to stop being disappointed though, you know, with the lack of character, because I think it's an important thing. I think it's an important quality for people, and we don't have any of it. We lack it.
We don't have a moral compass in this country anymore. That's the thing. All money down is a bet. Anything that people want to do is okay. You know what I mean? And you lose all morality in that type of society, and that's kind of where we are now.
But that's because we gave everything over to capitalism. You know, as long as you can make money doing it, it's cool. You know, as long as you're willing to pay the penalty if you get caught, it's cool. That's capitalism. Yeah. And we have taken that shit to the nth degree. We have corrupted our politicians. now that they got these corporations. These corporations have more rights than citizens do.
Right.
That's the truth.
You know, yeah. I've been trying to keep a positive outlook. There's all this wonderful oratory coming out of the DNC in Chicago. I've been trying to keep a positive outlook.
Tim Waltz, man. Tim Waltz, everybody's dad and coach. What a nice guy. What a great guy. I wanted to go suit up for him.
I didn't. But...
You didn't?
No. No.
You seem like a nice guy, man. Nicer than Ernie, bro.
I think she got the pick right. I think she picked the right person.
I think she did too, but I still want to suit up for him. But no, that was he represents the right place. He seems to be really good. He's very comfortable telling that story. He's very humble. He seems like the guy.
If only Prince were alive to play us out of Minnesota tonight, boy. Woo. Good mugger. That would have been a show. Donald Trump mad because the shows. You know what? The first thing I said when I was watching the DNC was, no problems with copyrights tonight.
No, everybody gladly said okay.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, Trump shouldn't be mad. He's got Kid Rock and Scott Baio, and they can woo the crowd.
Scott Baio,
yeah. Those are his two celebrities that he's got that showed up at the convention.
And
Hulk
rolling
Hogan.
out here.
I almost forgot about Hulk Hogan.
Don't forget.
So he's got three celebrities, one from the 70s, one from the 80s, and one from the 90s. So there you go.
My daughter Brooke is going to the DNC. Hopefully she's going with one of those NBA guys. I'm not racist.
Yeah.
But he's not racist.
I'm not racist. I'm a capitalist.
What are you gonna do?
With Hulkamania runs wild. Yeah, man. You got the holster.
Yeah. Well, hey, we got Kamala over there, so you needed the holster.
And to represent our culture, he had Amber Rose too. Don't forget that.
Oh yeah. Amber Rose.
Yeah. So
he's
got his blacks
dust off that backside and take the walk across the stage. Yeah. I didn't really hear anything that she said. I was wondering why they were focusing on her face and didn't just go back to what made her famous.
Sure.
So we could have listened to what she was saying anyway. It would have had the same impact. Is that objectifying? If it's objectifying, I think she should turn in every check that she's ever made because it's been made off of objectification.
Yeah,
that's what she's hoping for.
Yeah, she put it out there. So
is that what the
don't blame me for noticing?
Is that what the Republican Party wants? A black female, bald-headed with a tattoo on her forehead, saying she's a Trump supporter?
Well, she's not really black.
Well, she's Cape Verdean.
If we're talking about black, if Kamala's not black, then neither is Amber Rose. She's been on the record many times saying that she's a combination of a lot of things, and very little of it is African American.
She's Cape Verdean, and Cape Verdeans are black. They're black and Portuguese mixed.
Well, she's something that's more Portuguese mixed. I'm not going to argue with how she identifies. She could also identify as him. You can't get into that, right? We got to be fair on both sides. So if she's identified herself in the past as being less black than we can attribute to her, then we have to respect that. And GOP trotted her out on stage to say whatever it is that she was going to say. This is they complain about Megan Thee Stallion being at this event for Kamala Harris, but Megan Thee Stallion was at least in context. She had a microphone and she put on a show. Amber Rose has never spoken towards anything political or anything like, anything in regards to anything that's related to the community. Her husband, or is it her ex-husband? She's still with Wiz Khalifa?
No.
That's like a long time ago.
But John, what would she do? What's her talent?
She can't rap. She's on the show now.
She's an influencer.
She's an actress.
She influenced Kanye West. She influenced Kanye West to date her. She was on she was on men's magazines with that.
Yeah, she's a piece of ass.
Yeah, she's not. She doesn't act.
Well, that's my point. What do you want her to do?
No, well, I don't want. Listen, it's not what I wanted to do. It's like what I don't want to see her doing, embarrassing herself or embarrassing, the community. What I don't want to see her selling out like that. Like, honestly speaking, she feels the way, but then again, at the same time, she got a paycheck. So should I be knocking her for getting a paycheck? That's the only thing I really feel bad about criticizing her for, because it's like, we live in capitalism. So if they're going to pay her to talk, then maybe she should talk. But whoever thought about the plan of having essentially she's best known for, her ass. So she's a talking ass.
Which one has more talent, her or LaToya Jackson?
Well,
LaToya tried to do something, so I would have to say that she has more talent.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I mean, she did make an album. She at least tried.
Oh, she did. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, she tried. She danced. She had a video.
Yeah, that's there
you have it. When Reby is the greater talent. You hurt yourself.
Yeah, Reby made a classic.
Yeah, she had one hit.
Was produced like a motherfucker. They could have put damn near anybody on that lead vocal. It would have been a hit.
Made a hit.
Amber Rose is best known for standing side stage, off stage at concerts. And walking out at the end after the concert's over. Hey, Amber Rose is here. Look at that ass. Yay, Kanye. Yay, Wiz Khalifa. That's what they're going home to rub. What the fuck? Can you insult my intelligence anymore?
What did she say? What did she say at the convention? Does anybody know?
Yeah. Well, she said that her father was hardworking and was voting Republican, and he's the one who convinced her, not the check, but her dad convinced her to be a Republican because he's hardworking.
He's hardworking, and they contacted him and told him, "Hey, we got a check for you."
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, what the fuck? I don't get it. This is it's getting lower. The frequencies are getting lower and lower and lower.
The fastest way to become a millionaire, if you're a black person in this country, is to disrespect and down other black people. That's the fastest way you can do it. They'll put you on the circuits. You'll get on some talk shows. Eventually, you'll make it to Fox News. And you'll be an influencer, and you'll be a regular in the news cycle. And you can write a best-selling book because they'll buy up all your books. And it's the fastest way you can be a millionaire inside of a couple years.
Well, it's near poverty for me. JD Lance, he decided on another route. he decided to take the billionaire dollars and anything else that was offered to him. I don't know. He wears makeup. And, write a book, Hillbilly Elegy, available at your bookstores via Harvard Press, where he went. He was a hard-fighting Marine for the clerical department. It's like,
as we did not go through basic training, we cannot pass any judgment on what his service was or when it was not.
Sure.
He didn't have any choice in where they sent him.
Sure.
But I'm sure he made sure that they could send his punk ass nowhere but someplace like an office far away from the action.
I'm gonna get you, sucker. And this one is for typing.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes. And this one is for shorthand.
Them paperclip fights. You can get some injuries with them paperclip fights.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
He's the only Marine who had extensive experience in the dress before he joined, so perhaps that helped him out with getting clerical duty. But either way, I think that we've just about hit our hour.
Cool.
And this in no way, shape, or form is anything negative about the LGBTQI community whatsoever, whose one of their mantras is to basically live their truth. We're just hoping that people out there will live their truth. So, JD, what would really be great is if by some strange happenstance Trump becomes president and you get to speak on your inauguration day, you can come out and let the rest of the world know, yes, I am JD Vance, I am a gay man, and I am vice president of the United States of America.
If he didn't drop the needle on Dancing Queen, that would be everything. Like, it would just be such a moment.
That would be a moment. Probably bring a tear to my eye. But if he isn't, listen, this is all just jokes and conjecture. We don't know anything for sure. We don't know anything for not sure. We don't know anything, as a matter of fact. We're just talking about happenstance and circumstance and what we know from experience, which is something that the show specializes in. We're older men. We talk about experience. Rob, you've seen people go hunting. You can tell, hey, look, or go golfing, if they're drinking a lot in the clubhouse, they're probably not going to shoot so well or score so well. That's experience, right? That's experience.
What did I miss at the beginning? Why is Rabbi Blitzstein in John's seat today?
I'm just saying, man.
It's the most even-handed John we ever seen. It could be good, it could be bad.
It could be. No. I'm just, listen. It's just come to my attention that on some of my shows, I've taken too much of a position, and I haven't let.
You can never take too much of a position.
No, but I don't let the facts speak for themselves. So when I'm talking about a situation like something that happens to come up because I had nothing planned, and something like JD Vance comes up, and hey, Peter Thiel is married to a guy. It's a very macho thing that people are trying to put out there. They put out a lot of macho energy. So I just want everybody to know that your macho energy sometimes is tainted with rainbows.
a box of Fruity Pebbles.
But hey, wasn't there like rainbow? There was like a rainbow, like a cartoon with a girl who had a unicorn that was pretty tough.
Yeah, Rainbow Bright.
Bright, right? Rainbow Bright. If Rainbow Bright was coming in, hell, if she walked in this room right now, she would kick my ass based upon her powers, her cartoon powers. So let's not just take rainbows and dismiss them right away. They can be powerful things. Anyway, Born in Trouble, 8th episode.
Peace.
Wow. Wow.
Guys, would you like to say goodnight? Mr. Robert Brooks.
Did you eat the mushrooms before the show?
I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Just asking.
I mean, look, you don't find it ironic? You don't find it ironic that the guys that are talking about all the macho stuff and everything haven't noticed these coincidences?
That's always the case. You know, it's usually that dude that's popping off the most and, like, you know, he's got the biggest skeletons in his closet.
But dude, it's the coincidences. It's like they are right in front of your face.
Yeah, but Donald Trump's whole career is right in front of your face and nobody cares.
People
that's the most stunning part about all of this, is that it's all right there for everybody to see and they don't care. That's why it's been so hard to defeat them, because like, at some point everybody's going to see that, right? Like, we all see it. They're going to see it, right?
Okay, maybe I'm just to the point where I'm like, are we really doing this? Are we really doing this?
Well, I mean, that should have been the question when he became the Republican nominee. Like, are we really doing this? Like, y'all, you okay, you did it once. You saw what that was. You're doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Johnson.
Hey, it lets me know, as long as there's Trump supporters out there, that I don't have to worry about my IQ dropping to any level anywhere near theirs.
You're safe.
Am I safe? I don't know. If he gets a fourth shot at it, then I know I'm safe. But if he doesn't get that fourth shot, and he could have Ron DeSantis run in 2028 and win, but he wears a 4-inch heel. And based upon what you were talking about earlier, that can create all kind of problems too.
Virility. It's like they're very caught up on. It's like they're always talking about identity politics, but we're ignoring the biggest part of the identity politics that we're seeing this year, and that's basically the, white man conquer North America. Conquer the world, run the world. Me bigum. Me bigum manum with smallum pee. It's like it's never really worked. You need all things working together. Nature is built purposefully. Everything is spread out across the world where you would have to gather them all together. Because the thing is that people have to figure out how to work together to put all of the elements together in order for everything to work for everyone. It's never going to happen. It's like, this is not fucking Lord of the Rings. No matter how many times you watch that fucking series and you think that that's the way the world is supposed to be. Men battle and fight over rings, and then they find out they can't control the power. So the message is, we have to destroy it, because there's no possible way. You have to elevate, there's no other way. It's either elevate or go. So that's what it is. Mr. Grant Lancaster. You're right, Rob.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
sorry.
I'm gonna go watch some Rainbow Bright.
Greg's like, what am I supposed to say behind that? Like, that's worse than following Michelle Obama.
I'm gonna go watch some Rainbow Bright, sip on a little bleach, and that'll be a night.
Sipping on bleach. Yeah, B. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if this is like John, maybe part of me is still back there in that 1300, in that 1300 sugar coma. And I'm just like seeing things so clear that I just can't really like hold it back anymore. I just can't. It's like, to me, it's ridiculous. Like, what are y'all talking about? What the fuck? What are we doing? What are they talking about? What is Donald Trump talking about? What is this guy talking about?
You find out, you let me know, Holmes.
All right, y'all. Point of trouble. One more in the books. Talk to y'all later. Peace.
Later.